I want to.
Yeah.
Can we use a footnote to define it? Not
Again.
just use.
Again.
Can we use footnotes to define it?
Okay.
Just like
I don't know if you heard us or not, but I said having a lot of footnotes in such a short, very, very short 32-word paragraph is not good for the eye. So adding too many footnotes is bad for the eye. Footnotes should be used when they're like in very, very specific contexts and very, very specific number of times. ريما شرحنا الفرق في المحاضرة، بتحضر التسجيل إن شاء الله، وإذا ما فهمتي بعد ما تحضر التسجيل اسأليني تاني. شذا؟
أنا حضرت التسجيل بس حاسة إنه الكوك والليترال ترانزيشن
محاضرة اليوم أول محاضرة شرحنا الفرق.
ماشي.
شذا؟
كيف ترجمتي نودع رمضان؟
ثاني؟
كيف ترجمتي نودع رمضان؟
bid Ramadan farewell. Or say goodbye to Ramadan. Same thing. Doesn't, yeah, it's not a big difference. Say goodbye, say bid your farewell, whatever it is. So here it is, like bid farewell.
another question.
Yeah.
Is it wrong just not to define عيد الفطر والأضحى إنه it is known يعني?
Wrong, no, but it needs courage and trust in the audience. So if you trust that the audience knows it, then you do it, you know? If you think that who's going to read it knows it, like you're ready to bet your life on it, I bet that they know, then they know. If not, then maybe you should explain it. And usually in such context, it's usually a longer essay and you would need to define them only once. You would need to explain what they are only once.
Okay.
Okay.
ورمضان إنه يعني كلهم
Ramadan is generally known because now Muslims live in non-Muslim countries, so Ramadan is generally known. But again, if you're ready to bet on it, then okay. If not, then, and here it's been done smoothly because you just say the month of fasting Ramadan. So you didn't add a footnote. It wasn't like it sounds natural. It's not pushed into the sentence. It feels natural. Yeah. Other questions?
Yeah, miss.
Okay. Yeah.
هلقيت بالترجمة ترجمة سوق الزاوية. احنا لما ترجمناها للتارجت لانجوج حكينا الزاوية سوق، ليش ما حكينا ماركت؟ يعني بما انه باللغة الانجليزية المتعارف السوق معناها ماركتينج.
سوق موجودة بالانجليزي. It's known. And I think it's with a K. I think you would find it with a K. Yeah, it's with a K. So you would find it. Souk is known. Whether you say souk or market, it's known. But I would prefer bazaar. If you're going to use a word, I would prefer bazaar, not market, because markets are usually closed, and it's like the supermarket, the mini market. Those are usually the markets. في حد كتب black market. black market يا جماعة إشي مش كويس. the black market السوق السوداء مش إشي كويس. فإنك تغيري الزاوية black market, that's a big one. We should pay attention to that. Another thing before, sorry to interrupt you. Another thing, one of you substituted the entire text and turned it entirely into an English culture text and changed the Eids with the New Year and so on. No, you don't need to do that. Again, you need to be careful with the choices you make and the decisions you make, because changing changing the Eid and the Ramadan to the New Year Eve to English or Christian celebrations, here you're changing the spirit of the text. You're changing everything about the text. Substitution makes sense when it serves it serves a purpose. Okay, there is a purpose that you want to serve, and so you do the substitution. But if the entire text is about the Islamic culture, the entire text is talking about these traditions, you can't substitute everything. That's why we said with Harry Potter, it was impossible to substitute into Arabic because you're changing everything, you're rewriting the entire story. And here's the same thing, you can't change everything and rewrite like the entire part. We might substitute certain items like changing bar into restaurant, like changing Hunter to Superman, like changing these very small items that are not essential to the text, but you can't substitute essential parts of the text. Nida, what's your second question?
يا هلا بس بدي أتأكد من استراتيجية البروينج. هلا البروينج يعني مثلا إنه موجود زي كورونا فيروس، بترجمها زي ما هي كورونا فيروس، هي هيك الاستراتيجية.
أفرجيكي كيف هي البروينج. أفرجيكي البروينج. هي البروينج. I love going to الزاوية. A local popular bazaar in Gaza. هذا هو
يعني
البروينج.
بحول الكلمات الأبجدية على العربي يعني.
بالضبط، أو من عربي لإنجليزي. يعني كانت كيف حالك صارت كيف حالك. This is borrowing. Sorry, مش بالسبعة بالأتش. So بتصير كيف حالك. Okay?
أوكي.
Make sense? خلاص نسكر هنا. Okay. Let's move to this part. Okay.
مس
Yes.
هلا امبارح في بنات يعني ما زبطوا كتير في الكويز، يعني هل ممكن يكون في كويز تاني إشي؟
احنا حكينا الكويز هذا مش محسوب كدرجة، محسوب كنشاط.
الحمد لله، لأنه بصراحة البروينج يعني حسيت حالي هيك يعني تو بتحكي يعني بتوضحي لنا إياها، ففي أخطاء كتير حسيت عنا أخطاء فيها.
المهم واضح هلا؟
واضح الحمد لله.
خلاص الحمد لله. تمام. So I think we got to this slide last time or the time before last time. Right? We didn't take this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the meaning of to combine? A combination. What's a combination? Alia?
To join two things together or to join so many things together.
Good. Sometimes one strategy isn't enough. Like we saw in the quiz, I had to borrow and I had to define. I had to use literal translation and I had to use a footnote. So one sole strategy may not be enough in my translation. In that case, I need to combine two or more together in order to make sure that my translation makes sense. How do I know which strategy to use? It depends on experience. It depends on what knowledge you have. It depends on a lot of things. So is there an answer to how do I know which strategy to use? No, but it comes with time. I can promise you that it comes with time. So trust me that at the beginning of the course, the decisions you made when we first started are gradually changing. By the time we finish, you will have like changed your way of thinking about the text, changed the kind of strategies you use. And maybe now it's time to ask, do you think that this is true? Do you think that when we first started is different from now? The decisions you make, the way you think about the text, the way you handle the text, do you think this is changing or not? Do you think how you're making decisions is changing or not? I'm asking, so you probably should answer with a yes or no. If it's no, it's fine.
I think not.
Yeah, you think what?
Of course.
You haven't like noticed any changes in the way you think of a text?
I do think I'm improving because I'm actually making progress. So, alhamdulillah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else? So again, do you feel that your brain is handling the text differently or not?
Yes, it is. Yes, sure.
Okay, that's a question I was asking for. Okay, how much freedom do I have, not do I have, do I have as a translator? Sorry for this typo. So how much freedom do I have as a translator? How can we answer this question? Am I free to do things the way I want? Mariam?
Actually, there are many factors, as we mentioned before, like the audience, the text, the client, you know.
Good, so I'm not free.
So there-
As a translator, I'm not free. I'll never be free. How much freedom do I have? Zero freedom. What I do have is options, and these options are given to me, choices given to me based on, again, these factors that your colleague just mentioned. So I'm never free to do what I want. I'm always bound to these factors, bound to the choices that these factors offer me. How often should I explain or use footnotes? He answered this. Whenever necessary, whenever I can put more than one information together, whenever I can, whenever it's like so necessary, so urgent, so required. Why? Because when you have a footnote, you take the reader from the text to the margin. Taking your reader from the text to the margin is something that does not happen in the source text. So you can't keep pushing the reader from the text to the margin, from the text to the margin. Every couple of words, he goes to the margin. And I want you to remember how you feel when you read a book or a story and you need to go and check the dictionary every 2 seconds. Like you're reading an English story that's written in English. You decided to improve your English language. And every 5 seconds, you have to go and look for the meaning of a word. It breaks your concentration. It makes you less motivated to read. And it makes you feel disappointed. And you just don't want to keep on reading. So you have to make sure that this doesn't happen to the target reader of your translated text. Use footnotes, use definitions, use explanations where you feel it's absolutely necessary. And I'm here focusing a lot on the footnotes. Footnotes are acceptable when they are truly necessary. It creates a pause, an unnecessary pause. Yes. Okay. Any questions about this slide? Yes, no? Okay, so we're done with this slide. Okay. طب أنا عندي سؤال. ما حدش انتبه على الغلطة اللي أنا كنت عاملاها في السلايد تبع توي؟
ايش هي الغلطة؟ لا
ما حدش انتبه؟
أنا انتبهت وأنا بدرس،
وليش ما حد
بس إنه it's okay. it's okay لأنه كتير
لما
صار
قرأت
في أخطاء مع الدكاترة لأنه مع ضغط المحاضرات إنه ورا بعض.
طب
خلص
احكي عشان أعدلها. Okay,
بسيطة.
so if next time you find something that has been written wrongly, please inform me عشان نظبطها بدل ما يضل الخطأ موجود. You know, others might not know, so they might get it wrong and think that it's right. Okay, so let's keep that in our minds for the future. لم تعد قصص جحا تضحكني. Where is the cultural item here?
جحا.
جحا. 3 people raised their hands. Okay. So what's the strategy here?
Substitution.
And why? Why? Why should we use substitution? Because there's no other way. I can't use borrowing, because if I use borrowing, I'm going to need a definition, and it's a too short sentence to use a definition. I might need to use a footnote, but again, it's a too short sentence to use a footnote. I might omit it, but if I omit it, the sentence won't make sense anymore. So I can't use calc, again, because it just wouldn't make sense. I can't use literal translation, because again, it wouldn't make sense. So the only thing that would make sense is substitution, okay? So how can I substitute Juha here? This is Juha. Sarah.
We can alternate it with Mr. Ben.
Okay, ماشي. I would prefer using Mr. Ben with, like, if it were a TV series, I would have gone for it. But here, should think differently. Siba.
I just wanted to say that what you said, Mr. Ben is just for series, not stories.
Good.
Yes.
Now I need you to think outside the box. What's the thing about Qisas Juha? They're what? What are they educational? No.
Funny and stupid.
Good.
Stupid.
Funny.
They
That's
show
not
a naive man
Naive.
who does, yeah.
I don't want the stories. I want, like, again, the genre. So it's funny, it's childish, it's commonly known among people. Good. Now, here's the surprise. You don't need to have something, like, you need to create the same effect. And by creating the same effect, you want to remind people of something that they find funny. What's something that all people find funny? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for an item in English language that is funny and that makes the English reader, connected with laughter, connected with something that is popular, something that everyone knows. Okay? Can we use the Smurfs? The Smurfs is the same problem with Mr. Ben. They're both on TV. Okay, here is what we're going to do. Now look, the knock-knock jokes. Do you know knock-knock jokes? Knock-knock, who's there? Do you know them?
Yeah, I know.
No longer make me laugh. Or I no longer laugh at knock-knock jokes. But I would prefer this structure. So the knock-knock jokes no longer make me laugh. You would say, what's the relation between Qisas Juha and the knock-knock jokes? Juha is usually used for jokes, to make people laugh, to make the connotations of Juha in the Arab mind has somewhat relation with, or is related to laughter, stupid stuff, and so on. And I don't like the word stupid, but I'm just going to use it figuratively. And knock-knock jokes leave the same effect on the English people or English-speaking people. Everyone knows the knock-knock jokes. So if you don't know them, look them up. It's like, تعرفوا مرة واحد ماشي اللي هو ميل، مرة اثنين ماشيين اللي هم قعدوا، مرة واحد ماشي اللي هو صار يجري، مرة كذا. هم هدول are a lot similar to the knock-knock jokes. Okay? What if I want to say Juha's stories no longer make me laugh? This is acceptable under one condition. If you're translating a long text, and in this long text, Juha has already been introduced, and you have already established connotations of laughter between the word Juha and the reader of the target text. If you manage to create this connotation and this connection, you may use borrowing here because you know that you have established a connection. It's fine to just use borrowing. But if there is no connection or connotation that the target reader finds or understands, then you have to find the closest, and I say the closest because there is no one perfect substitution. There is no one perfect equivalent. Okay, we're doing this one first. Look at this one. صح يا إحسان. Weren't you the one coughing ولا مين اللي كانت تكح؟
أنا يا مس. صح على
ولا
قلبي.
كورونا، بدناش فيروسات عبر النت ها.
لا فلونزا الحمد لله. تخافوش
يعني.
تخافوش.
طب سلام.
خلوني معاكم. الله يسلمك.
هاي زينب بعتت لنا واحدة مناسبة. Knock knock, who's there? Achu, bless you. Or achu, you know, achu. نيسة. I mean, whatever. Okay. يعد شهر رمضان ذو أهمية دينية كبيرة، ففيه تغلق أبواب النار وتفتح أبواب الجنة، وصيامه كاملا يكفر الذنوب والخطايا والمعاصي، وفيه يتصدق المسلمون على الفقراء والمساكين. How many cultural items are there here? مين تعدهم؟ يلا نعدهم مع بعض. رمضان، أبواب النار، أبواب الجنة، صيامه يكفر الذنوب والخطايا والمعاصي، يتصدق الفقراء، لا الفقراء والمساكين عندهم، العمرة، ليلة القدر، سبحانه وتعالى، خير من 1000 شهر because it's already a verse in the Quran. تنزل الملائكة. تنزل sorry or تنزل.
صلاة التراويح.
Yes. وين وصلت؟ تقرب العبد من الله وتجعله يسارع كما توفى جو من الأمان. مدارس القرآن.
قراءة القرآن.
قراءة القرآن.
صلة الرحم.
صلة الأرحام. مائدة التناو.
يعني
ممكن التوفيق
أبواب الخير والرزق.
مين بده يستخدم عاد فوت نوتس هنا؟ يرفع ايده اشوف. مين بده يستخدم فوت نوتس يرفع ايده. كم فوت نوت؟ كم فوت نوت؟ 10 11 12. Is it acceptable here to add that number of footnotes? Yes, Rima.
No.
Good. Sarah, do you have any comments?
No.
Yes, I think yes.
Mariam.
I think we can use a footnote.
For me, I think this is written for Muslim Western readers, not non-Muslim readers, because I think non-Muslim will not be like concerned about this information.
What if it is a non-Muslim who's thinking about converting to Islam?
Yeah, he should be familiar first with these terms. He have to be he have to study them first. Then he should like look for these articles or this information.
Yeah, but this isn't like, I don't know, it's not a very specialized text. It sounds like someone who's preaching about Ramadan, not someone who's teaching about Ramadan. So the details aren't, let's say, so, I don't know, specialized. Suhaila.
Can I use definition for it?
Yeah, you can use definition. How, where, what?
Ramadan.
Okay. Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you? May I interrupt you? Here you need to be aware of which part or which parts may be familiar to the audience and which parts require like an explanation or require your own translator touch. Ramadan is the topic of this entire article. So this is how you're going to make the decisions, okay? Ramadan is known because here it's it's like the main topic, the main idea. So like your friend said, there should be like some extent of knowledge, some background information about this month. Why? Because it's the main topic, the general topic. So I shouldn't be doing anything related to the month. I might add holy, the holy month of Ramadan, but you're already having أهمية دينية كبيرة. So you can just say Ramadan has or is greatly religiously important or has great importance in religion or in the religion of Islam. تغلق أبواب النار وتفتح أبواب الجنة. The gates of hell and gates of heaven, they exist in almost like all languages. They have cultural connotations in Arabic, but they also have cultural connotations in English, so it's fine. Again, I'm making this decision that I trust that my readers know what hell and heaven are and that they have gates. صيامه كاملا يكفر الذنوب والخطايا والمعاصي. الذنوب والخطايا والمعاصي, although in Arabic might have distinctions, in English you would just say sins and wrongdoings. You don't have to, use lots of synonyms. And again, siyam as like fasting as a concept, although the practice differs, Christians have this practice. They fast, but they're practicing the way they practice fasting is different from the way we practice fasting. So again, I'm going to bet on my readers' possible knowledge of how Muslims fast. And if they don't, I would here add that fasting from dawn to sunset, so here, صيامه, I would say fasting from dawn to sunset every day throughout the month, so on and so forth. Okay? So here, I don't need a footnote. I don't need to have brackets. I don't need to have commas. I just would say fasting from to, or fully fasting, or fasting the entire month from dawn to sunset, so on and so forth. Okay? يتصدق, الصدقة exists, charity exists. If this were zakah, that would have caused a more problematic area for me as a translator. But the sadaqah exists, so charity, giving charity, Muslims give charity to the poor and the needy, again, makes sense. So we don't need to use more strategies than just literally translating it as the way it is. Al-Umrah. Now here, no. People know Hajj. A lot of people know Hajj. A lot of people know about pilgrimage, but Al-Umrah, they don't know it, and they don't know the meaning of having the reward of Umrah. So here, Al-Umrah, between two commas, needs a definition, needs an explanation. You could say a ritual that Muslims perform in Mecca around the Kaaba that is مثلا similar to pilgrimage or similar to Hajj but not the same. Okay? ليلة القدر, ثواب العمرة في هذا الشهر مضاعف بأضعاف عديدة وفيه ليلة القدر. Now, فيه ليلة القدر as a piece of information should be moved somewhere else. Okay? ليش؟ لأنه الآن إذا أنا هلأ توي شرحت إيش العمرة وهلأ بدي أشرح إيش ليلة القدر مباشرة مع بعض, I'll be having too many commas, too much information, and it might confuse the reader of which part is which. What's ليلة القدر, what's العمرة, and so on. So you need to relocate it in the text in a place where it would go smoothly. Now, or else you would break the sentence, add a full stop, and start a new paragraph. Wait, can I start a new paragraph in English where it's only one paragraph in Arabic? Yes. The Arabic block might be big, long, and might be acceptable. But if you think that breaking the block into more than one paragraph would serve your translation, do it. Again, I know that these decisions sound like, okay, that makes sense sometimes, but sometimes translators don't pay attention to this. These details, the form, the shape, how things look, they all affect the flow of the readers, like of reading a particular text. So here, you don't start with in it there is the night of Al-Qadr. Don't do that. No. When you start new and the subject is far gone, so the subject that you're referring to has been far gone, like Shahr Ramadan is far now, you start a new paragraph and you rewrite the subject. And here I want you to pay attention to how having a pronoun in a particular sentence does not mean I have to keep it a pronoun in the target text. I can simply put it back as a clear noun. So here, وفيه, no, in Ramadan, or in addition, in Ramadan, or you just go start with in Ramadan, Laylatul Qadr, or the night of Al-Qadr, and you explain, maybe you want to put between two brackets the literal translation of Al-Qadr, and then move forward with, instead of saying, like, وَالَّتِي اعْتَبَرَهَا اللَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. As a Muslim who has read the Quran, I have a connection in my head between خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ and the Quran. Okay? This connection isn't in the target culture, isn't in the target language. So I need to make this connection, to put it on the surface, to clarify it, to put it in the text. Here, the connection exists in the mind of the reader, in the Arabic reader, or in the Arab reader. For the English reader, you need to make that connection visible. So here we would say, which Allah describes or considers in the Holy Quran as better than 1,000 months. Clear? Again, here I need to make the connection that mentally exists between the source reader and the text visible in the target text, because the target reader would not see the connection between 1,000 months, like a month. Like, where did Allah consider like this night better than 1,000 months? That may come to the mind of the reader. Okay. تنزل الملائكة فيها على الأرض وتفتح أبواب السماء للمحتاجين والمتضرعين لله. It's like, I see the culture, but again, I'm going to bet on my reader's understanding of what this means. إضافة لذلك يمتاز شهر رمضان بصلاة التراويح. I don't need to say, in addition to that, another thing that distinguishes Ramadan sounds fine. So sometimes you can, or not sometimes, like you need to make the text sound more English than Arabic. It needs to sound English, not translated Arabic. مدارس القرآن. You start a new sentence, and then you start by introducing Madaris al-Quran, and you explain that it is where Muslims spend hours reading the Quran and reciting it. Then عدا عن أنه شهر شهر صلة الأرحام، عن أنه شهر صلة الأرحام تطلع خبر أن، صح؟ خبر أن.
Yes.
عدا عن أنه شهر صلة الأرحام. طيب هنا you need to have a full stop and explain صلة الأرحام and what's the meaning of يصل المسلمون بعضهم البعض. Again, you need to make the connection that I have as a Muslim or an Arab reader that exists in my head visible to the target reader who doesn't know like إيش يعني يصل المسلمون. يعني أنا لما أقرأ يصل المسلمون مش محتاجة حد يفهمني إنه هو صلة الرحم بين الأم والأب أو مع الأم والأب والجد والجدة والعم والعمة والخال والخالة. I understand that. Okay, it's like I know what صلة الرحم refers to, but that person who's from the target language who doesn't know it, you need to make it visible for them and need to explain that this family relation or family like to strengthen family relations. It's a month of visiting the relatives. It's a month of again strengthening the ties and relations among the family members. So what I mean here, you need to add the word family. You need to add the word relatives to indicate the or to make the connection visible to the target reader. Okay. Okay. This one is going to be it's going to be on Moodle. No, not this one. I want to have. Okay. There will be inshallah an assignment on Moodle tonight or tomorrow, maximum tomorrow. And yeah, there was this one. Okay. اوكي على السريع هنا. الآن احنا في عنا في غزة خليج. عنا خليج.
No.
Okay. I know that I'm translating to a country that doesn't have a Gulf. I'm telling you you're translating to a country that doesn't have a Gulf. So here this could change to sea, bahar. And usually in Arabic, we do the months, days, years thing, not the numbers thing. So we don't say 24 ساعة. We usually say خلال يوم. 7 أيام. We say أسبوع. What I mean is, it's easier for Arab speakers to just, you know, use the closest number of days, weeks, months, instead of mentioning the exact number. So 84 days, that would be how many? Like, it would be a month or a month and a few days. No, 84, that's like 2 months, 2 months and a couple of days. So we say لشهرين بدل 48 يوما. هذه زي رطل وكيلو. تمام؟ After 40 days, same thing. Without a fish, the boy's parents had told him that the old man was now definitely and finally allowed. طيب بس هنا هاي الفكرة كانت إنه بالأرقام بالأسابيع